Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bracha HaKodash, which means all praises to Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham means the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Bracha HaKodash means in the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, only way you can worship the Father and the Son. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you brothers who are preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. It's Brother Mathate from the Great Millstone Camp, the branch on Des Moines. And not sure I'm gonna title this lesson just yet, but it's pretty much surrounded off this word hell, which you see here. Is written in a couple different, well, this specific word. There's 3 different words for hell in the Greek, and I'm focused on this specific word G 1067, which I'm gonna read a couple precepts with that definite or that word within it. This Matthew 23 and 33 says, "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell?" Right? And Christians say, "Oh, well, this is, people getting cast into the lake of the eternal damnation," or whatever the hell they say, right? This is Mark 9 and 43. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having 2 hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched. Right? Says the same thing in 45 and 47, which is, it says the same thing here in Matthew the 5th chapter. Right? So now let's go into this word. As you can see, it's the same word within all these scriptures. Also here in Luke. But let's just click it and let's go into it. Now it's the Greek word Gehenna. See, Gehenna. It says hell is the place of the future punishment called Gehenna or Gehenna fire, which that's true in a sense, because in the Christians' understanding of it, that's false. That's a fairy tale that's made up, right? But we're going to go into this place or this future place of judgment, right? It says this was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. And we're going to focus on that, man. Now, this word Gehenna comes from a Hebrew word, which is a compound word. It's made up of 2 words. So the first word we're going to touch on is Gaya or Gaya, which is a valley, a steep valley, or a narrow gorge, which means valley pretty much, right? And the second word is Hacham. Nope, I'm sorry. Hanam. Hanam. That's not a cha. That's a na. Hanam. And it says a valley, deep and narrow ravine with steep rocky sides located southwest of Jerusalem, separating Mount Zion to the north from the hill of evil counsel and the sloping rocky plateau of the plain of Rephaim to the south, which it says it means lamentation. Now, when you do a Google search of the Valley of Hinnom, tells you here, right here in Joshua, it tells us where all borders are. But this is what this place is known for. This is 2 Kings 23 and 10. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire to Molech. So not only was the filth, the trash, and different things burned there, but this is where the children of Israel would sacrifice their children unto Molech at. 2 Chronicles 23 and 8. Moreover, he burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. So we're getting the sense that this is a literal place. It's not a fairy tale place under the ground that you're going to go when you die. No, that's a fable. That's a fairy tale that's made up, right? So now we're getting to understand, we're getting the sense that Gehenna is an actual place, right? 2 Chronicles 33 and 6. And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also, he observed times and used enchantments and used witchcraft and dealt with a familiar spirit and with wizards. He brought much evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is speaking about Manasseh, which he repented from all that wickedness he did. Jeremiah 7:31, and they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. Verse 32, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, that it shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter, for they shall bury in Tophet till there be no place. So Tophet, the valley of Hinnom, Gehenna, is going to be called the valley of slaughter, man. Right? Now, this took place back then in the ancient world, but we're applying it till today. Because going into the definition, what was that definition? Salakia. Let's go back to that definition again. It says, hell is the place of a future punishment called Gehenna, right? Which what? The valley of Hinnom, which Tophet, let's go back to that. When we look up what Tophet means, let's read this again. Jeremiah 7:32. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be called Tophet. Now, when you go into the word Tophet, it's Thapath, which means place of fire. And what is the place of fire? Well, we understand that to be this Isaiah 34:5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Lord's sword being bathed in heaven is talking about those nuclear missiles, man. Those nuclear missiles that's going to leave the atmosphere in an arching fashion and come down and hit its target, according to Joel, the 2nd chapter, right? According to what Peter prophesied about, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 11, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So America is the modern day place of Tophet. It's the modern day valley of Hinnom. It's the modern day Gehenna, which is going to burn with fire, man. And it says it's fitting for the future judgment of the wicked. You see? And it also spoke about what? How the trash is burned here. Well, that's what the Lord is going to leave here. The trash, the sons of Belial, the sons and daughters of Belial. Let me add that. The word Belial goes into worthlessness, man. Right? That's why in the book of 2nd Ezra, the Lord said, what? Let my grape be kept, with much labor have I labored to perfect it. Then it says, let the multitude perish that was born in vain. You see? Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? Talking to those that believe, those that's walking in the fear of the Lord, looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That's why it says here in the book of Malachi, it's the book of Malachi 4 and verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's the day that's coming, man. Right? And it speaks about how this whore is going to be cast into the lake that burneth with fire. It's the same judgment we're speaking about. It's the nuclear missiles. Let's get that. How many times it pop up? Let's read them. Revelation 19 and 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the charagma of the beast, and them that worship his image, These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Right? And the beast is what? Esau's power structure, man. You see? America, NATO, the EU. And the false prophet represents the Vatican over there in Rome. So all these places are going to be touched with fire, man. Revelation 20:10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. See, now, Christians got a misconception of this. See, that's hell, that you're going to burn forever. No, it's talking about how the remembrance of that place is going to be forever, man. And also, it's going to burn for a long time. Like the apostles talk about the testimony, or they give their testimony of the Twin Towers and how long that smoke went up. Well, just imagine all of America and how long that smoke is going to go up here. This is the book of it should be in Jude. Yeah, let me just get it. Search it up this way. It's the book of Jude, verse 7. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Jude, verse 7. It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire, man. And when you look at Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities, that place is not still burning. But the remembrance of that place is still. You see? So this is what America is going to be reduced to. It's going to be the remembrance of those that after should live ungodly, man. You see? So this is the hell that these people are going to be cast into. It's going to be that brimstone that rained down from heaven. Hey, Genesis 19:24. Then Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua out of heaven, man. Yep. And he's going to do that again unto America. Psalms 11:6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, in a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup, man. Isaiah 30:33. For Tophet is ordained of old, yea, for the king it is prepared, he hath made it deep and large. The pile thereof is fire and much wood. The breath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua like a stream of brimstone doeth kindle it, man. You see that? And we was talking about what? Topheth. That place of fire. Modern day America, man. Ezekiel 38:22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him, upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone, man. And if I'm not mistaken, this is going into Gog and Magog, right? So places of Russia gonna get hit as well, man. You see, which is why this earth is gonna reel to and fro like a drunkard. That's why in the book of Isaiah it says the windows on high is open. I'm gonna get that real, Lord's will, real soon. Let's get this Revelation 9, because this is going into the missiles. This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 14. It says, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now there's a prophecy that speaks about how the great river Euphrates is being dried up so that the way of the kings of the east may be prepared, which we're seeing that literally happen, man. There's droughts happening all over the world. These bodies of water is drying up. And those four angels, according to Revelation 7, those four angels that got the power over the wind and they're holding back that destruction, they're working on the minds of those kings over there in the Middle East, man, even as we speak. You see? Verse 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. The third part of men represents Esau, Edom. Right? You got the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. And they're prepared for a certain time. They're going to loose those winds, those missiles, according to Revelation, the 7th chapter, and also in the book of Jeremiah, it speaks about a destroying wind. The Lord said, I will sweep them with the besom of destruction. See, the nuclear destruction is prophesied all throughout the scriptures, man. The prophets of old have seen these things. Verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. He said he heard the number of them, man. Right? And this lines up exactly with what Joel seen in Joel, the 2nd chapter. It says what? A people strong, and there shall be none like them, after them, or before them, roughly paraphrasing. It says the horsemen shall march in their ranks. You know, go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. Read it, man. It's a beautiful chapter, man. Going into the destruction of this wretched ass society. Verse 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone, because that's the warhead. That's what detonates, you see. By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, the propulsion. That's how they get from one end of the earth to the other. It's the book of Isaiah 13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, is going into what? A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. That's World War III. That's the Lord gathering all these nations together. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Lord of hosts, mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, and this third world's war is going to be fought with what? With fire, as it is prophesied. This is the book of Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. You see, they come from a far country. Back in Isaiah 13:5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. The future judgment that's set upon the wicked, man, where all the filth is going to be burned. Right? What did the Lord say, man? This is the book of Ezekiel 22:18. Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of power, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof, man. You see, that's why in Jeremiah, the 6th chapter, it speaks about our people when they committed sins, were they at all ashamed? They weren't ashamed, neither could they blush. So therefore they shall fall amongst them that fall. You see? So when Esau goes down, the rebels and 2/3 of our people here in America is going to go down with him, man. I thought it was another one that spoke about the filth. Yeah, let me see if I can search that up. That was a good one, though. Thought it was one in Ezekiel that spoke about the filth. That's a good one. Isaiah 4:4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning, man. You see that? It's the pot, man. It's the pot. The Wadi Abashem Yahushua. This is the book of Ezekiel 24:9. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of power, woe to the bloody city. I will even make the powerful fire great. Now, the bloody city at one point was talking about Israel back then, but it's applied to America today, man. It says, woe to the bloody city in Nahum, the 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. It says, the prey departeth not, roughly paraphrasing. Verse 10. Heap on wood, kindle the fire, consume the flesh, and spice it well, and let the bones be burned. Then set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot, and may be burned, and may burn, and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, that the scum of it may be consumed. Man, bro, this is, man, this judgment that's coming upon this place, man. Right? Matter of fact, we spoke about how it comes from one part of the come from a far country, right? Let's get this in 2nd Esdras 15th chapter. It's 16, I'm sorry. It's 2nd Esdras 16 and 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive him away? And that ultimate plague, according to Zechariah, speaks about how this is the plague. I believe it's the 14th chapter. It says this is the plague that shall hit all them that fought against Jerusalem, roughly paraphrasing. Their tongue shall consume out of their mouth. Yep. There it is right there. You know, there it is right there. Brothers can read it, man. Beautiful, beautiful verse. May we be delivered from that judgment. This is verse 9. It says, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his might. Which is going into Salaki. Which is going into the earth wheeling to and fro via those missiles being shot off. It's Isaiah 24:17. Fear in the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Then we read in Isaiah 34, his sword is bathed in heaven. Meaning it's going to leave the atmosphere and come back down. Isaiah and John, the Revelator, in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, they seen the missiles falling as stars from heaven, man. Going back to that Revelation, it says what? Jason and brimstone falling. So just imagine seeing that in a vision. You know, those missiles coming down, the metal gleaming off the sun, you know. That's why they said it, man, it was stars falling, right? It says, verse 19, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Meaning America, man. This whore is going to fall and not rise again, man. Right? And this is the same thing Esdras is seeing. The earth quaketh. It says, in the sea ariseth with the waves. See, there's another one where it says, let's see. Yep, Habakkuk 3:10. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. Those tidal waves, man. You see? It says what? The waves, the sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep. So the earth reeling to and fro, man, it's going to be tidal waves and tsunamis and all. Man, it's going to be utter chaos here on this earth, man. Which is why we're hoping to be beamed up into those chariots. Verse 13. For strong is his right hand, the 2nd Esdras 16:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. Once again, going back into those nuclear missiles, right? I think there's another one. I don't know why. I think there's another one in Psalms. Speaks about Psalms 11:2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Man, I thought that was the one. Let me see. This is a good one. Psalms 58:7. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces, man. Yep, that's those nuclear missiles, man. But let's go back. Revelation 9 verse 19. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Man, hey, matter of fact, I know I said, brothers should read it, man, but let's just get it. Joel 2:1. Blow ye a trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the light, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. As these are going into those missiles, man. That's why in what is that, Zephaniah? Or was it Zechariah? Zephaniah 1:14. It says, the great day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, man. Meaning they're not going to know what to do. Walking as blind men, they ain't going to know where to go and what to do, man. We had a small glimpse of that when Hawaii had that missile scare, man. That nuclear missile scare, man. Right? Verse 18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, like it says in the book of Revelation, in 1 hour show great riches, man. And who is it speaking about? It's speaking about that great whore according to Revelation, the 18th chapter, man. Back in Joel 2, verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. You see trees, right? You see life. You see buildings. And behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. Once again, the Lord shall sweep it with the besom of destruction in Isaiah the 14th chapter. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness, man. Hey, in Isaiah 13, it says all faces shall be as flames. That's that Zechariah 14, man. These people are going to be melted here, man. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks, because the Spirit of the Lord is going to be in these missiles, right? You got guided missiles, man. Hey, once they hit that, that target is punched in, the Lord gonna see fit that it gets to its mark, man. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. Those guided missiles. Not only is Esau technology guiding it, but the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to be guiding it. That trumps Esau's technology. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Meaning what? These missile defense systems, they're not going to work. You see? Man, this is all written out, man. The Spirit is cold. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, man. What's that? Those dust and smoke and mushroom clouds, man. The heavens roll together as a scroll, right? And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it, man? Hey, that's why we hoping to be delivered once again, man. See, because in the book of Revelation, it's Revelation 11. And 11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So what? The Holy Spirit entered into us, and we remembered ourselves, man. We started calling upon Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, amended our ways and started walking in the spirit to the best of our ability. Verse 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. You see? And the 10th part of the city fell, meaning America. Because America is broke up into 10 FEMA zones. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, a complete number, right? Everybody that's left here in the shores, man, is finito. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory unto the power of heaven. You know? So that's the future place of judgment, man. America is the hell that these people are going into, you know. So Lord will, I hope this was edifying. Dua to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Barachaha Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to all you brothers preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Hey, Shalom.